Darth Vader felt completely different towards the clones compared to Anakin Skywalker. In today's video, we're going to go into the depths of one of my favorite novels, Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader by James Luceno. Now, before we can understand Vader's bitterness and detachment towards the clone troopers, we have to go back to Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars. And before we get to that, I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. It's almost 9 years here on the channel, and the anniversary is coming up real fast at the end of July, and I'm just really lucky to still be here. So thank you so much for that. Sit back, relax, hit the like button if you enjoy these kind of lore videos and you've been riding with me for 9 years almost now. So let's get to it. Anakin didn't just fight alongside the clones, he bonded with them. From Captain Rex to Fives, Hardcase, and Dogma, the men of the 501st weren't just troops under his command. They were brothers in arms. There was a camaraderie, a trust that cut deeper than Jedi doctrine would usually allow. Anakin was notorious for bending the rules, and one of those was the distance a Jedi was supposed to keep from attachments. But Anakin, of course, attached himself to everything, to Obi-Wan, Padme, and yes, to the clones especially. He called them men, not units. He led from the front. He saved them. He risked his life for them. The animated Clone Wars series and Legends material like the Republic comics heavily portray this intimacy. You see it in how Anakin treats Rex like an equal, not just a tool, but a friend. But all of that died on Mustafar. When Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader, his view of the clones shattered. The bonds, the shared battlefields, the trust, it all became irrelevant. In the suit, Vader no longer saw the clone troopers as brothers. He saw them as instruments, and ones that were already becoming obsolete. In the book, Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader, we witness Vader's first major encounter with troopers who defied Order 66, specifically Ion Team on Mercana, led by Commander Clymer. When Vader confronts Clymer and his squad for disobeying Order 66, they stand their ground and claim moral reasoning. "The order made no sense at the time," Clymer answered. "We thought it might be a separatist trick, and we follow any reasonable ones. Killing our own didn't qualify." To that, Vader delivers a cold verdict. "They weren't your allies, squad leader. They were traitors, and you sided with them." And then, with lightsaber drawn, he slaughters the clone commandos. These weren't just rogue units. These were his kind of soldiers, the ones who had once displayed individuality and conscience, and yet it was those traits exactly that made them dangerous. Vader's contempt for them was not simply due to defiance, it was because they reminded him of who he used to be. Even Sidious had his theories. Speaking to Vader, the Emperor explained this: "Contagion brought about by fighting alongside the Jedi for so many years. Clone or otherwise, there is only so much a being can be programmed to do. Sooner or later, even a lowly trooper will become the sum of his experiences." The clones, once designed to be loyal to the Supreme Chancellor, had grown too much. They developed personalities, ethics. The exact qualities that made them so effective with Jedi like Anakin also made them a risk. Palpatine knew this, Vader understood it, and that's why his relationship with the clones turned from camaraderie to disgust. He was no longer Anakin. Loyalty didn't matter anymore. What mattered was obedience. When Salvo tries to explain the clone troopers in action on Mercana, Vader doesn't even let him finish. "Dispose of them in any fashion you see fit," he says regarding the Jedi bodies. The clones, like droids, were to obey without question. Those who hesitated were broken, useless, discarded. When Vader executes Clymer's men and senses hesitation from the surrounding stormtroopers, he says this: "Don't let my weapon fool you. I am not a Jedi." This statement isn't just about optics, it's a rejection of his past self. The Jedi who now kills clone commandos for defying orders is the same Anakin who once questioned those very orders. But Vader doesn't question anymore. This marks a full psychological shift. He's traded empathy for power, trust for fear. The clones served their purpose, and now they're just extensions of an empire that needs blind compliance, not heart, like Anakin had. Now, we also have to remember what's happening under the armor. Vader is suffering, and that's what George always said. It's the tragedy of Darth Vader. He sees himself as wreckage, a hollow version of the man that he used to be. This is not living. This was solitary confinement. Prison of the worst sort, continual torture. He was nothing more than wreckage, power without clear purpose. This torment affects how he views everyone else, especially the clones. To Vader, they are what he was to the Jedi Council. Tools, replaceable, malleable, discarded when inconvenient, slaves. The irony is very interesting, and it just echoes back and forth in all of Star Wars with so many of the characters and their lives. The man who fought so hard for the lives of his clone troops during the war has become the executioner of their independence, whereas once he promoted it, he encouraged it. Now, when Clymer argues that killing the Jedi didn't make sense, Vader doesn't just see a defiant trooper. He sees a young Anakin, someone questioning the system, trying to do the right thing. And Vader hates that because he hated himself. He killed that version of himself, or at least most of it. So he kills Clymer's men, not just because they disobeyed orders, but because their resistance reflects the internal struggle that he is suppressing. They are symbolic ghosts of his own failure. Now, Palpatine even says, "You will demonstrate to them the peril of independent thinking." And Vader obliges, brutally, of course. There's a very dark passage in the book that captures the depth of Vader's alienation, and here it is. For reasons that went beyond the armor and helmets, Vader felt more at home among the troopers than he did around other flesh and bloods. So let's think about that for a second. Vader, the man once surrounded by organic loyalty from Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Padme, and the clones, now feels closer to the machines. Because like him, they are made to follow. Like him, they are broken. Now, during the Clone Wars, Anakin and his clones shared an illusion. They were fighting for peace, for freedom, for the Republic, but of course it was a lie. And now, Vader is the only one who knows it. The events of Anakin Skywalker's life might have occurred a lifetime ago, yet some residue of Anakin continued to plague Vader, like pain from a phantom limb. The clones who served with the Jedi, well, they weren't heroes in Vader's eyes anymore. They were tainted, either tools of the past or threats to the present. And threats must be eliminated. The evolution from Anakin to Vader is marked by many losses. Padme, the Jedi, his own body. But one of the most subtle and tragic is the loss of trust in the clones. And I don't really see too many people talking about this. Now, I love diving into the psychology of Anakin and Darth Vader and playing devil's advocate for many different parts of his psychology. But one of the things that is left out a lot is how he treats the clones after Revenge of the Sith. He doesn't just discard them. I feel like he fears them because they remind him that once he led with love, with passion, and now he rules with fear. I think they remind him of everything that he lost, everything that he fought for, which he feels was a lie. That is the essence of Darth Vader's contempt for the clone troopers after Order 66, in my opinion. They weren't just soldiers who failed in order. They were living proof that he was once a man capable of compassion. And nothing enrages Vader more than the reminder of himself. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love doing these ones. They remind me of the old days of the channel. And like I said, we're coming up on 9 years, and YouTubers come and go. And just be around still in this space. I really appreciate you guys for keeping me here and watching the content. And I feel like we're really just getting started with everything. So thank you so much for that. Please leave a like on the video. It's all I ask. It just keeps the videos going and pushing through YouTube, and that's how their algorithm works. So thank you so much. Let me know what other video you would like for me to make, and I'm already getting started on the next one. Have an awesome rest of your day, everybody, and may the Force be with you always.